Thank you for coming, even though I don't think this is going to work. I specifically asked for a research assistant with experience in a scholarly setting and a professional demeanor. It's sensitive work that I do here, you know. I can't just train anyone.
Well, I'm a lizard man. I don't suffer from you fleshy's weird emotional states, and I can read books. I don't know what else you would need for a research assistant.
Well, there's no use dwelling on that now. Who knows, perhaps you'll surprise me. We'd better get started. What's that on your hands?
You mean my scales? Is that what you're talking about?
Just wash them, please. I don't want that getting on the books. Come back when you're clean and we'll begin your training. Hands? Much better. You understand, some of these books are very old. They must be handled with extreme care. They contain the knowledge of the ages, painstakingly transcribed, and then lovingly passed on to the unknown minds of the future. Minds like ours. Well, minds like mine. Forgive me, I failed to introduce myself. I am Nimwin, and I am a scholar here at the library. You have been brought here to assist me in my research. What shall I call you?
You can call me Talk.
Very well. My work here is very important and also sensitive. As my research assistant, you will do as I instruct and never ask questions unless they are necessary to complete the task. You're not a curious person, are you?
Depends on what you mean by curious. I do believe knowledge is a weapon, so the more I can gain, the stronger I am. However, I don't really care about your personal life.
Hmm. Curiosity is an admirable trait in a researcher, of course. But you are not a researcher. You are an assistant. If any such curiosity comes up, please keep it to yourself. There are many, both inside and out of this establishment, who would do their best to stop my research if they knew of it, who would call it unethical or perhaps even illegal. But any law that would stop the progress of knowledge is a law built by a civilization destined to fail. Do you agree?
Your laws really don't make sense to me. Are they there to those the weak don't have to fight, or so those in power don't have to keep fighting to keep their power? It's a strange system you have.
If anyone asks you to reveal my research here, you are bound to confidentiality. Do you understand? You must not speak of the details of my work. Can you do that?
Sure, as long as there's something in it for me.
This, of course, is why I ask that you refrain from asking too many questions. The less you know, the less aid you will be to any hoping to stop me. Your main tasks here will be seeking out material on specific subjects and fields. Forgive me if this is a rude question, but you never know with adventurers. Do you know your letters, in order, so that you can find titles? They're organized by alphabet within each area.
Yes, I can read. A couple of languages, in fact. I've picked it up along the way.
I'll draw up a map to aid you. I'm sure you will grow used to it quickly once you begin work. What is your overall experience level with books and other scholarly writings?
Originally, not much when I was younger, but while I was in the army, I learned that knowledge is power, and that you people just leave it lying around in these books. It's just leaving weapons out there for people to use.
We'll have to make do. The library is laid out into sections based on format. Bound books in the northmost aisles, loose parchment in the southeastern corner, and scrolls in the southwest. You may explore the bound books and loose parchment as necessary, but it's best if you avoid the scrolls for now, as they can be very dangerous. Are you yourself a spellcaster of any kind? Have you ever used a scroll?
My tribe calls it a spell singer. I believe your people call it a bard. So, might not be the type of spellcaster you're talking about, but it's what I can do. I have seen scrolls before. Powerful tools.
They can be quite valuable. A scroll cannot simply be copied without the destruction of the original text. Instead, it can take a skilled magic user weeks and thousands of golden resources to create one, depending on the magnitude of the magic, of course. Perhaps after your first month, if you're very good, you can take home one of the simpler scrolls as a bonus. For yourself, for a companion, to sell, whatever you choose. What sort of spell would you pick?
Not sure what I would choose. How about you? What would you choose if you could make the choice?
Well, everyone has different areas of magical interest. It is good that some choose to focus on dull or trivial fields, just as some must be cooks and some must be kings, I suppose. My personal research is on resurrection, the divine, the arcane, and even the necromantic. Have you ever seen someone raised from the dead?
Why would you bother bringing someone back from the dead? Are they useful to you? I mean, the corpse seems more useful.
I've always wondered what it looks like. The process, the result. Are they pale afterwards? Can you see the magic on them or in them? Or do they appear as a normal living person again? Is their flesh cold to the touch? I hope it's not cold. I find it so fascinating how we view resurrection as a society. For example, some undead are as monsters to us, but others are heralded as divine when they return to life. I wonder if the exposure to extreme risk makes adventurers more open to the idea of healing beyond death. Do you think revivification unnatural?
Natural, unnatural, monstrous, or divine? What does any of that matter? Sure, someone is either useful to you, they're a threat, or they don't matter. You fleshies are always so strange. Your minds are just so alien. I don't get it.
I apologize. It's easy to get distracted while researching. Books are full of such fascinating stuff. Sometimes I just get lost in them, especially poetry. Do you enjoy poetry? Magic is normal to me. I can snap my fingers and create light. But I've always felt that the truly inexplicable and beautiful magic of this world lies in poetry. A window to another being's soul. A connection that bypasses time and distance. Have you ever encountered a story or song or verse that made you feel as if you knew another soul, inside and out?
No.
It would be nice, I think, to have your soul truly seen. If you were to write something to let someone in, what would you write?
Not right, but when I sing of slating hunger, resting in safety, the running from that can kill you, and killing that which gets in your way. Wait, what more is there?
My writings are largely empirical, of course. Technical, documentary, experimental even. But if I were to write something from my soul, it would be a love story. Not that 5 copper erotic pulp, but a deep story of joined hearts. A true love that weathers time and tragedy, and even death. Perhaps one day I will live such a story. Have you ever been in love?
Oh, I actually felt that one.
Sometimes people do terrible things for love, but are they so terrible if things are done for a reason like that? How far would you go for love?
Not far.
That's enough of all that. It's time to get to work. Tomorrow I plan to send you to the temple cemetery to compare dates of death with some documentation that I have. Do you feel comfortable in such a place, surrounded by the dead, or does it frighten you?
Frighten me? No. Confuse me? Yes. I mean, I don't get cemeteries. I mean, why don't you people use the bodies? Just seems like such a waste.
Well, there isn't quite enough light left for that today, anyway, and it can be dangerous, lurking in a graveyard after dark. For now, I need you to seek out 3 titles for me. The Truth of Resurrection by Nerissa Valakir, it's a relatively recent publication. Also, a treatise on necromantic healing. This one has no listed author, so it may be categorized under T for treatise or A for anonymous. And finally, an unnamed tome bound in human flesh. You'll be able to locate it by the muffled screams it emits. Be sure not to open it, though. It becomes disruptive when unmuted. Bring those back to me at my desk. What are you waiting for? Get to work.
I'm not going to move until we discuss pay.